Hello and welcome to another edition of Bombchu News. My name is Chris, I'm joined by Andron, and today we'll be covering the news that we found interesting.
The development process for Anthem and the work conditions at BioWare have come into question following a report published yesterday, April 2nd. Kotaku's Jason Schreier posted an in-depth article relaying statements from previous and current BioWare employees regarding the toxic work environment and difficulties getting Anthem off the ground. The article is quite hefty, but the big takeaway was that Schreier's multiple contacts all focused on a similar thread: stress. According to the report, many employees from different departments would often be asked by doctors to take extended time off for their mental health. These employees would sometimes return after a few months, while others would just disappear completely. This stress seemed to arise each time BioWare began down the road on a new project while under the umbrella of EA. Most recently, the development of Anthem caused many, quote, stress casualties due to three major factors. The first factor was the lack of decision-making on game direction. Many ideas just weren't being cemented, which caused the team to have to pause work on a core part of the game and shift focus to ancillary ones instead. For example, the flight suits that are such a pivotal piece of Anthem's gameplay were added and removed multiple times. The second key factor was that BioWare was being forced to use Frostbite. Frostbite is EA's main game engine, which, according to Schreier's sources, doesn't make development any easier. According to one anonymous source, quote, Frostbite is like an in-house engine with all the problems that entails. It's poorly documented, hacked together, and so on, with all the problems of an externally sourced engine. Nobody you actually work with designed it, so you don't know why this thing works the way it does, why this is named the way it is. End quote. The final factor was, and will always be, time. Near the end of Anthem's development cycle before launching, EA and BioWare both began pushing many teams to get the game out. Due to the engine being horrible to work with and the indecision during planning, BioWare was far behind on development, which now put them in a race to get done. Instead of asking for more time to get the work done and done correctly, BioWare had many of their teams work late into the night and took their weekends as well. This added to the stress levels of everyone involved as there was limited downtime between shifts. Schreier's report is very damning, but not something we haven't seen before from other studios. BioWare did respond to these claims to their own blog post released after Schreier's article went up. BioWare's post, however, had a targeted final statement that sums up their stance to the allegations. Quote, as a studio and a team, we accept all criticisms that will come our way for the games we make, especially from our players. The creative process is often difficult. The struggles and challenges of making video games are very real, but the reward of putting something we created into the hands of our players is amazing. People in this industry put so much passion and energy into making something fun. We don't see the value in tearing down one another or one another's work. We don't believe articles that do that are making our industry and craft better. End quote. Events like these are always handled with both parties explaining their point of view and jockeying to be in the top position by the end of the day. With influential individuals like Jason Schreier or Jim Sterling pointing a finger at yet another developer employing horrible work conditions, hopefully the industry can begin examining their internal work conditions under a closer microscope. Corporate introspection will hopefully lead publishers and developers alike to treat their game directors, coders, testers, and everyone else who works hard to bring these amazing worlds to life with the respect and understanding they deserve.
Borderlands 3 now has a release date. When it was first revealed at PAX East, fans were told to stay tuned on April 3rd for more info on the game. Now that that day has come, a lot more information has been revealed about the release of the highly anticipated Borderlands sequel, but not everyone is happy. In an official announcement trailer, it was revealed that the release date for Borderlands 3 is September 13th of this year, which matches up with the leak date from earlier in this week. The game will be releasing on PS4, Xbox One, and PC at the same time, with pre-orders getting access to a gold weapon skin pack. We also got a look at some of the different special editions of the game, capping out with a $250 Diamond Loot Chest Collector's Edition. That edition of the game will include a replica of the in-game Diamond Loot Chest, various Borderlands figures and art pieces, as well as a season pass for the DLC and all other bonus content. However, perhaps the biggest piece of news to come from this reveal is regarding the PC version. When it first launches, Borderlands 3 will be exclusive to the Epic Games Store. This has been rumored for a while, with Randy Pitchford defending the Epic Store on Twitter in the past, and the aforementioned leak saying as much as well, but it's still disappointing to hear it be confirmed. The exclusivity deal is only for 6 months, with the game coming to Steam in April of 2020, but it's still a bummer for those of us who aren't fans of the Epic Games Store. While it might seem trivial to some, with the Epic Games Store at its core being just another launcher like Steam or Uplay, the problems people have with it amounts to more than that. A variety of choice for consumers is almost universally a good thing, but Epic is trying to force consumers to use their store by simply paying for exclusivity rather than offering a better product. product. Users are already annoyed by the amount of different launchers and storefronts being pushed on them as is, and when combined with the lack of security, forced exclusivity, and sketchy connections of the Epic Games Store, Borderlands 3 is going to be a hard sell for a lot of PC players until the game eventually comes to Steam. I've been a fan of the Borderlands series since the first entry, and while I'm definitely looking forward to Borderlands 3, I'm going to either wait for the Steam release or just pick it up on consoles. Luckily, the game will still be available on Xbox One and PS4 as well as PC when the game launches on September 13th. Well, that's all the news that we found interesting today. Let us know what you thought about it down in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.
A big thank you to Gabriel Skaggs, Michael Slater, and all awesome patrons for your support.